Hello, friends, and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise swearsies, it's just a fact, and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Thank you so much. Today we're jumping into r/NeckbeardStories, opening up another saga, one that is already completed, so we don't have to wait around for new parts and all that, which I think is pretty exciting. I was invited to read this one by our good friend Emerald Aussie. I think this was also read over on Moonhorse's channel, but the links were posted in r/ReddX Reads, which as far as I'm concerned is permission enough to get it down. So let's go ahead and see what it is today. I am live streaming on Twitch once again. Come and visit me if you would like. That link is in the description. Let's get some additional plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some of this r/NeckbeardStories cringe. The Ballad of Squirrelbeard, Part 1. The Meeting of Squirrelbeard. I gotta be curious how he got that nickname, but I suppose all will be unveiled shortly. I've been watching so many ReddX stories on YouTube, bless, and I was thankful that I didn't have experience with neckbeards when my husband reminded me that I did for 14 years. I mean, when you're that close to it, yeah, sometimes it's kind of hard to see it. And indeed, it is the beard on the inside that counts. Bam, bam, bam. Go ahead, t-shirt over on Teespring. Thanks so much. It was then that I realized the blinders that I had on. And yes, indeed, I have a neckbeard tail. And I think the only way to deal with it is to share it with the masses or anyone willing to read it. Which now includes me. Before it included Moonhorse, and I don't know who else picked this one up, but I do like it. I'm not scared to retread old ground, give it my own spin. So I'm going to start with the introduction, and if anyone wants more, then I'll continue. It's a story that encompasses my life from the age of 14 to 28. I'm 38 now, so it is quite a tale. Yeah, that's beefy. I'm ready. Let's start from the very beginning, however. I was just 14 and starting high school. But before any story happens, yes, of course, there's a cast of characters that we need to meet. And that includes OP, me, 14-year-old female with divorced parents. I had terrible self-esteem, very into Sailor Moon and Power Rangers, stupidly had just moved in with my abusive biological father and was expected to be a trophy daughter and deny everything I liked and wanted to be. Prime pickin' for any male attention. Oh, that is unfortunate right there. And of course, the beard's gonna swoop right in, do what he does worst, I guess. I was gonna say best, but yeah, this ain't a good move to make, man. And of course, we have the beard of our tale, Squirrelbeard, who was a 16-year-old band geek, liked manga and anime, played Pokemon cards because, yeah, most guys did in 1998. Guilty. The object of my misguided affection. I guess I could see it. The band geek going with the anime/Super Sentai fan. Why not? There's probably some overlap there. Those are really the only characters for part 1. This really just covers me meeting Squirrelbeard in my first year of high school and why I would get involved at all in this 14-year dumpster fire. It has got me some tires in there. It's been burning for a long time. The cast will change over the next 14 years if we continue this saga, which you did. So thank you for that. With all that said, let us begin. To understand a little bit about my mindset at the time, you need just a little bit of backstory about me. I had a tale of 2 childhoods. Yeah, that's my favorite from Dickens, right? My mom was absolutely amazing, albeit overprotective. I understood later that this is because my biological father often threatened to kidnap me when I was a little girl. What? Oh my god, dude. This is already getting so heavy. I'm so sorry that happened, man. How are we technically 1 paragraph in and it's already this chaotic? God. At 14, mothers and daughters tend to not get along, and 14-year-old girls do not like to feel overprotected. Yeah, but mom's doing the right thing here, I gotta say. I also did not yet comprehend the level of abuse that I would suffer after moving in with my biological father. Yeah, why would she let you go? He's threatening to kidnap you, and she's like, okay, I'll let you have her on the weekends. Oh, man. At that point, we file a restraining order. We move cities. We can't do this any longer. The abuse up to this point had been just gaslit away. It had only been in recent years that I understood the level of abuse that I suffered in his home, and that his home had always been the polar opposite of my stable home life with my mom. This is important because you need to understand that upheaval that I stupidly caused in my own life at this point in time. Yeah, but you can't blame yourself for that. That's absolutely wild. Parents are supposed to be there to protect, to take care of. Although I suppose it would also explain the reason that she puts up with the shenanigans that Squirrelbeard is just bound to get up to, right? Ugh. I was new to high school, and in a new, abusive, and chaotic home environment. This is why on the first day of school, when I saw this geeky-looking guy with pretty blue eyes in band, I was immediately enamored. I know. I mean, this puppy love, what you gonna do? You didn't really know him deeper than that, so I'd say that's normal. The boy would turn out to be Squirrelbeard, and this moment in time would change the course of my life in ways that I never imagined. I really should have stayed on swim team and dropped band. Yeah, then you could be like with the jockeyer kids, right? Not trying to dunk on band nerds or anything like that. I was good friends with a lot of the band nerds, but you gotta say, in most high school settings, one is on one tier and the other is on the other tier. I'll let you determine which one is which. I was painfully shy and insecure, and I think Squirrelbeard realized that pretty quickly. He saw me reading manga, which was a little hard to come by in the late 90s. It isn't everywhere like it is now, and he was intrigued. He started talking to me about manga and anime, and over the next several weeks, he asked to borrow my manga, and even went as far as protecting me when the other first-year students went through hazing. We were percussionists, and newbies were rounded up and put in the drum room. Lights were turned off, and drumsticks thrown at them. Dude, this is madness. I guess it's one of those things that happen, but thank God I never experienced it. Squirrelbeard warned me that this was about to happen and took me to a practice room to protect me. We didn't actually practice. He showed me his Pokemon cards and we just hung out. Well, I mean, that's one point in his favor, I guess. He would also go out of his way to be a gentleman and do things for me like picking up drumsticks or mallets off of the ground. He seemed irritated when I told him that I could do that myself. Yeah, that's a bit too chivalrous, if you would ask me. So, okay, 1 point in the pros, 1 point in the cons, I guess. A few months into the school year, I thought for sure he was about to ask me out. He seemed interested, and I was doing everything to show him that I was, but to my utter horror, I found out that he was dating a close friend who was also in percussion. At 14, almost 15 by this point, it seemed like the end of the world. Puppy love strong, like I'm saying. Little did I know that this was the tip of the iceberg as to what was about to happen. Also during this year, there were rumors that he did some stuff with another female percussionist in the back of the band bus against her will. Oh, God. That's like 20 in the cons column. What is going on? I mean, it's just a rumor, but I don't know. There's a kernel of truth, isn't there? Ugh, I don't know if this is true, but knowing what I know now, I tend to think that it probably happened. Yeah, then you need to turn and run. Honestly, this is such a terrible situation. But like I said, puppy love strong, hindsight's 2020. Oh, it's gonna be a long ride to the bottom. Most of the year was me pining for Squirrelbeard and him paying attention to me at his leisure, just enough to make me think that I had a chance. See, he ain't even really serious, though. He just enjoys the attention. Chicks do this too, right? Don't fall for it. Are you in or are you out? And this guy's definitely out. Even if he wanted to be in, I still push him out. Never. This saga is not going to be light and fuzzy. Can you tell that already? I'm pretty sure I could tell that already. You know, Squirrelbeard, I was hoping for fuzzy, but no, it's not gonna be that. So by the end of year 1, he was single again. Shocker. But I was leaving the state for most of the break to visit my family, so I wouldn't see him again until band camp just before year 2. This is a small introduction to Squirrelbeard, but I feel I have but brushed the surface of this saga, and so I'll probably share part 2 tomorrow if there's even a little bit of interest. Part 2, we meet a teenage legbeard that gets involved with Squirrelbeard and changes the course of his life, and solidifies him as a neckbeard forevermore. Edit TLDR. Dumb teenage girl falls in love with a budding neckbeard because, teenage girls are idiots. I think teenage boys are also idiots, if I can recall that. That was a long time ago, but yeah, I do remember getting involved with some people that I should not have gotten involved with. I guess the only positive we had for Squirrelbeard was that he tried to protect OP, but then yeah, he just goes over the top with the chivalrousness, and the biggest red flag of all happened in the back of a band bus, and like, yeah, is it just a rumor? I don't like this, bro. Even just a rumor. I don't think you want a chance at OP. He wasn't even showcasing real chivalry. Like, it was all just a tactic to get her to lower the guard and, you know, so he could worm his way in and, I hate him already. I tried to play both sides and be like, well, he did a good thing, but then he immediately did like the worst thing possible, so I guess we'll just jump into part 2 since the episode, you know, that was a short one. Part 2 is longer, and we'll just, we'll see how it goes right now. The Ballad of Squirrelbeard, Part 2, The Tale of the Legbeard. Yeah, when legbeards and neckbeards get together, it can change the course of history. And not for the better, mind you. Okay. I didn't feel I left you with very much in the intro, so I bring you to part 2, year 2 of high school for me. This is a very important part of the story, although it focuses more on a legbeard than it does our neckbeard. It's quite long, but the events in this story set the stage for the next 13 years. You should read part 1 if you haven't. It's just an intro, but it sets up the story. We'll check on that. We got it. And now we're getting into some heavy cringe, I'm sure. But first, the cast list again. OP, that's me, 15-year-old year 2 high school student, trusting, naive, abused, and in need of love of any source. Yeah, that breaks my heart, man. Avid writer and fan of creative writing class, local singer, and high school journalist, in love with Squirrelbeard. Can't you see? I suppose she can't. Easy answer there. Squirrelbeard is SB, a 17-year-old year 4 high school student planning to go to Japan after graduation because his love of anime, manga, and all things Japanese had become an obsession. Oh man, of course he wants to go to Japan. And then you get there and you realize, like, it's mostly just a normal country. There's a bunch of normies walking around, you know, just going about their day. Otakus and stuff like that, they exist, but you're not gonna see them. They're not gonna come hang out with you. Japan is gonna offer a big culture shock to any neckbeards that go, I'm pretty sure. Crazy Beard, CB, is the legbeard of this saga. She too is 17 and a year 4 student at this time. She was in my creative writing class and I thought that she was a close friend. Oh man, it's another stealth beard, isn't it? You get too comfy and then the mask comes off and it's too late. You're already in her clutches. And from what I understand in the first part, she's the one that kind of supercharged Squirrelbeard's beardiness, right? Is that why he's in love with Japan all of a sudden? I guess we'll see. Step Monster is my stepmother that was generally a monster to me, but in this tale, she was my savior. It was a rare moment, but also a nice one. Yeah, I guess even evil people can't be evil all the time, right? It takes a lot. Biological father is BF. That is my biological father, if you didn't know. Abusive a-hole that saw me as something to control. Not as a person. Not my dad. I had a wonderful dad, R.I.P., but that was not this man. Yeah, you biological father? That's the kind of title you give to somebody you want to keep at an arm's length. Even on top of that, I've heard some people say, yeah, just sperm donor. He gave the sperm that created me, and that's it. I'm still curious as to why OP left, like, her protective, loving mother's house. But yeah, I guess just teenage stuff. I don't really know. It's gonna be rough, dude. Buckle in. With that, dear reader, let us begin this second part of the tale. By year 2, I had quit band, as had Squirrelbeard. I started taking voice lessons and performing at local malls. At school, I wrote for the school newspaper. The two brightest spots of my day were journalism class and creative writing. It was in creative writing that this girl sat next to me. She was short, although to be fair, I'm 5'7", so taller than a lot of people. She had long brown hair, naturally tan complexion, and was very thin. She seemed sweet. I wouldn't know until later how batshit crazy she actually was. It is another stealth beard, dude. You think everything's all normal, everything's fine? Then you make friends, you make nicey nice, and you find out the truth way too late. I hate it. This was Crazy Beard. Crazy Beard started talking to me, and I was so lonely and attention-starved that I ate up anyone talking to me. So, to put this in perspective, I didn't even have a lunch table to sit at. I hid in the doorway of the creative writing classroom during lunch. I also had an eating disorder at this time because biological father told me that he needed me to be a trophy daughter when we went out to events for his job. So I had to look good. Ew. Ugh! That is the most hateable thing I've ever heard. You could sit with me at lunch, OP, if you want. This entire situation is just already the worst. I don't know why I decided to do this today. Like, hey, come back, do the Twitch streams. Oh, okay, well, now I'm depressed. I guess this would be a good time to tell you how I look then. Like I said, I'm 5'7", which is tall, at least where I'm from. I had long blonde hair, blue eyes, and the palest skin that you can imagine. I had a skin cancer scare at 12, so I pretty much avoid the sun in general. Honestly, it's not a bad way to live. I've always struggled with my weight, but at that point in my life, I was a healthy weight. That was in no way good enough for biological father. I was constantly told that I was fat and needed to lose weight. It didn't matter how little I ate or how much I worked out, it was never enough for that monster. So you can see where my insecurities came from. Mix all that pressure with a 15-year-old mind, and I saw myself as some giant freak that was completely unworthy of affection. Although, that is all I wanted. God, dude, you're breaking my heart. This is the worst. I definitely hope that later in life you are able to realize that you are worthy of affection. And I suppose you did at some point since you kicked the beard to the curb, but yeah, long learning process, and it's going to be a painful journey. I'm like very sure of that by now. So all this brings us back to Crazy Beard. When she started talking to me, I jumped at the chance to be her friend. In my mind, this petite, pretty girl wanted to befriend a giant monstrosity like me. I was over the moon. At least for now. I got to a point where I counted the minutes until creative writing class because it was just so nice to have someone to talk to. This went on for several weeks, and I thought I might actually be making a best friend. Then, after class one day, she told me that her boyfriend was coming to meet up with her, and she wanted me to meet him. So the bell rang, and I waited with her. I was looking the opposite direction when her voice caught my attention. OP, I want you to meet my boyfriend, Squirrelbeard, she said. I turned and looked, completely stunned. Nice to meet you, Squirrelbeard said, playing along as if he had never met me. Ugh, it's like that high school politics, you know? You're a couple grades lower, so all of a sudden we don't know each other or something like that. As a 30-year-old man, I say don't let him slide. Call him out on that. But as a 14-year-old, yeah, I kind of get why you didn't. You just rolled with the punches like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing now. Now I was really stunned. In hindsight, there was no way that Crazy Beard didn't know that he knew me, and I very highly doubt that she was unaware of my feelings for him. Our school was not that big, and it wasn't a secret. I think she had crafted this moment to make a point of letting me know to back off. At the time, I was naive and just in shock, so I went with it and said, likewise, I should go. And I ran off. I mean, what else can you do? Teenage years are just hard like this, man. I went home and cried. I was pretty broken up about my friend dating the quote-unquote love of my life. It feels gross to say that now because he was so not the love of my life, but 15-year-olds are dumb. And I'm leaving gender out of it because, yeah, just in general, okay? OP did specify girls, but I'm not even going there. I'll make a completely blanket statement. I'm comfortable with that. So I found Squirrelbeard before school the next day and confronted him. Why did you act like you didn't know me? I asked. Crazy Beard introduced us and it caught me off guard. I didn't know what else to say, Squirrelbeard said. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying any of that. How about hello? How about actually we do know each other? Anything? No? Okay. And OP says as much. How about, yeah, we're friends? I asked. Crazy Beard gets jealous, and this is new. But if she thinks we're friends because of her, then it'll be cool, he reasoned. Not cool. I sighed. I didn't like it, but I would also do anything to make Squirrelbeard happy, so I relented. Fine. The three of us could be friends, he assured me. Okay, I reluctantly agreed, but after that, Crazy Beard went out of her way to hang out with me outside class and always had Squirrelbeard with her. I mean, I guess you guys could be friends, just friends. Under the watchful eye of this jealous Legbeard. She would come see me in my doorway hiding spot like I was some pathetic wounded bird that she was mothering back to health. At the time, I thought it was so sweet that Crazy Beard and Squirrelbeard cared about me so much and that maybe I finally had some friends. This went on for a couple of months, then I started hearing rumors. Yeah, that's the disadvantage of a small school, and also just teenager dumb in general. High school kids talk a lot, as any person that had been through the horror of high school can attest to. The current rumor was that Squirrelbeard was going to break up with Crazy Beard for me. I tried really hard not to think too much about it because rumors and just that. Rumors. Okay, but how did this rumor get started? Probably Squirrelbeard spread it. It's not OP that's making anybody believe this, right? I think he thinks if he just spreads it around, Crazy Beard will overhear, then she'll break up with him, then it'll be like an easier breakup. That's like the high school brain for you, right? I think I broke that down. And of course, Crazy Beard took these rumors 100% to heart. It was Friday, and Crazy Beard and I were sitting in creative writing in front of our computers. She looked really freaked out. Are you okay? I asked. Not really, she said. What's wrong? I asked. Crazy Beard sighed. I cannot. You can tell me. I promise, Crazy Beard, whatever it is, you could talk to me, I said. Words that I would regret in mere moments. I I cannot say it, but I can type it. Bro, this is such a cop-out. What are you talking about? That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Yeah, go ahead. Type it if it makes you feel better. Then Crazybeard opened up Microsoft Word and typed on a new document. I'm late. Late? You were on time today, I said. Like I said, I was painfully naive. No, late, Crazybeard said. It took me thinking about it for a good 30 seconds to process what she was trying to tell me. Whoa, wait, you mean you're... I don't know, maybe, Crazybeard said, looking more panicked. Is this all a manipulation tactic? I don't feel like I could believe anything that comes out of her mouth. We've already been through the Regina George garbage. I'm about 90% sure that all of this is made up just so Squirrelbeard won't break up with her. So crazy. Fake pregnancy scare in high school. Oh, great. What are you doing? I could not wrap my head around this. I was 15, and my 17-year-old friend was possibly pregnant by my 17-year-old love interest. What the hell was my life? It's high school, dude. It gets wild, you know? After class, I asked her how this had happened. Oh boy, that's the conversation, isn't it? She told me that she had taken Squirrelbeard's virginity in one of the school bathrooms one day. Oh, that's romance. I'll tell you what. That's always where I dreamed of having my first time happen, in a high school bathroom. And she said it only happened once. Both then and to this day, the idea of banging in a school bathroom seems so gross. It is so gross. That's one of those things that you only do if you're into the gross a little bit. You know what I mean? It can feel like super dirty and naughty and whatnot, but yeah, romantic it ain't. I was completely floored. Believe it or not, at 15, sex was not something that I thought too much about. Don't get me wrong, it was on my radar, and self-satisfaction was certainly a thing, but the idea of actually doing it with a boy was so far from my mind. I was in no way ready to even think about doing it. Yeah, 15, that's pretty young. And then you hit like 16 and a switch kind of flips. And you're like, yeah, I need to do that. At least that's how I remember it working. But my first time, that was a disaster. I'm not going there. That's all I'll say. It was a disaster. All weekend, I tried to reconcile in my mind the boy that I knew with the boy that had allegedly gotten my friend pregnant. On Monday, Crazybeard confirmed to me that she was preggers, and Squirrelbeard started avoiding me like the plague. It's all fake, dude. I know that's gonna be the big reveal. To be honest, most of the next couple of weeks are a blur that has been lost to time and trauma. I remember little things like Crazybeard showing up at school with a sonogram and holding her stomach a lot. Where'd you get that sonogram from? You printed it out? It's Google Images? Maybe not in 1998. Ask Jeeves. This is too ludicrous, dude. I remember seeing Squirrelbeard a couple of times and him saying that he wanted Crazybeard to terminate, but she wouldn't. And he didn't know what this meant for him because he had yet to tell his parents. All right, well, maybe just wait until she starts showing, until you see a sonogram that isn't printed out from online. Do you guys think this is real? Am I crazy for just not believing a single word of it? And then came the fallout. Okay, good. Surprise, surprise, it was all a giant manipulation. A few weeks after Crazybeard's announcement, she came to class crying. I asked her what was wrong, and she told me that Squirrelbeard was being sent away that day. I was in disbelief as she relayed the story. Turns out, they finally told his parents about the baby, and his parents had lost their collective shit. His dad was always moving to a city about 6 hours away for work, but the plan had been to let Squirrelbeard stay behind and graduate. However, when they found out that Crazybeard was pregnant, that plan went out the window, and they were forcing Squirrelbeard to leave school and move right away so he could get a job and care for the baby. Crazybeard was so upset. Yeah, this fake baby, he's getting a job and all this stuff, but it's too late now. You got everybody believing this. You can't just be like, oh, I lied, he has to stay here. Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we choose to deceive. You ever hear about that, Crazybeard? No, she didn't. I felt like I was just in a fog for the rest of the day. Was she actually pregnant, though? Remember, I was still in love with Squirrelbeard at this point, and he was leaving just like that. I hoped that he would find me to explain to me what was going on, but he never did. He never even said goodbye to me. I saw him saying goodbye to some other friends, and I froze, unable to go over to him as I watched him walk away. See, this is life just telling you to let go. Everything gets thrown in your path. At a certain point, maybe the universe is trying to communicate to you that this isn't the best path. Well, OP goes home and in true dramatic teenage girl fashion, fell to the floor, sobbing. This was a lot to take in. My stepmonster actually came and sat with me on the floor and held me when I cried. This was one of the handful of times that she was very kind to me. Usually she just tormented me for not being Christian. To this day, however, I do appreciate that she was there. I mean, especially when you're younger, it's easy to see your parents as these people, or step-parents, as these people who are supposed to have the answers to absolutely everything, but lots of the times we don't. Parents are people that are just pretending like they know what's going on, but yeah, really we're just doing the best that we can. I can't begrudge Stepmonster too much. I do understand that sometimes it's hard. Actually, a lot of times it's hard. So yeah, I take it with a grain of salt, I suppose. Over the next few weeks, I tried to be there for Crazybeard because, according to her, she was all alone. And Squirrelbeard had broken up with her and was going to try and take full custody of the baby. Bro, I still don't think the baby's real. Honestly, she said he was never gonna let her see the baby. And then one day she said she had a miscarriage. Gasp. There's a ticking timer on that, honestly. If there was ever actually really a baby, I'd be shocked, okay? The next day, she said that was all a lie because she didn't want Squirrelbeard to take the baby. Oh, the twists and turns. I believed each version of the story that she fed me. Like I said, naive, idiot girl. But there is something endearing about naivete, you know? I'm sorry that the world had to squeeze that out of you. I wish that we could all just believe each other at face value, but it's not the case. It had been about a month since Squirrelbeard left when he came back home to see Crazybeard about the baby. I wasn't here for this, but I heard all about it later. Squirrelbeard showed up at Crazybeard's work. Evidently, when she saw him, she freaked out and ran to the bathroom. When she came out, she had a very unconvincing baby bump. He reached up her shirt and pulled out a wad of toilet paper. That really is some high school kid brain style stuff right there. Maybe if I just put toilet paper under. It's like really the bump doesn't show all that much until you're much later into the pregnancy. What's she now, like 3 months or something like that? She thought she was gonna fool somebody with a wad of toilet paper. Oh, he can't make something like that up. It's so funny. Of course, Crazybeard had never been pregnant. Ah, we knew, but still, it's good to hear you say it. It turns out, while they banged in the bathroom, ew, she had not gotten pregnant. She told him that she was and blackmailed him into sleeping with her pretty much every day so she could get poggernant, and she never did. That's divine intervention right there. She told him that if they didn't bang, then she'd tell his parents about the baby, and so he did it. She told him if he broke up with her, she would tell his parents. Finally, he got sick of it and told his parents himself. And that's when he got sent away, and after all the blackmail, he realized how insane she was, and that's why he was threatening to go for custody of the quote-unquote baby. Some friends of his that he kept in touch with told him that Crazy Beard's baby bump tended to come and go. So he came to confront her, and that is when he showed up at her workplace. Why would you pretend on some days? If you're gonna commit, you gotta commit. After that, Crazy Beard was pulled out of school, and I never saw her again. Honestly, thank God. I did talk to her about 10 years after that. She was married with some kids and seemed to think of everything that happened in high school as just childish antics. Yes, childish antics that left a deep, deep mental scar on many people. But I guess, you know, you gotta preserve your own ego. Because yeah, every teenage girl fakes a pregnancy to keep a boyfriend, right? Wrong. And this should have been the end of the story. I should have let it die and never talked to Squirrelbeard again after this. But I was in love, and he was my soulmate. Ugh. So, dear reader, our story does not end here. Actually, it is just getting started. Because you see, what Crazy Beard did to Squirrelbeard would allow him to justify the way he treated girls going forward, including me. Stay tuned for part 3, in which we finish my high school years and move on to adulthood, where I am older, but still no wiser. TLDR, Legbeard befriends OP, dates Squirrelbeard, fakes pregnancy, and ensures Squirrelbeard's final transformation into a neckbeard. Yeah, you hate to see that. Honestly, I want to feel bad for Squirrelbeard, like in this singular part of the story, but then I remember what happened back in part 1, and I'm like, yeah, he's a pretty garbage human being too, so perhaps they belong together? I really don't know. I don't even know how to feel about this one, man. Bad for OP. I guess that's how I feel about it. Really bad that OP had to experience all this crap. But she will come out the other side. Hopefully we'll see some fireworks. We'll get into another part or two, probably, you know, within the week. Knock them all out, then we'll have another saga under our belts. Bing, bang, boom. Super easy, right? I guess we'll see how hard it is later in the story. But I do appreciate you guys listening along with me. If you like this video, I hope you like, comment, and or subscribe. I appreciate it. You know, maybe share the video around. That's a pretty big brain play. We got all kinds of plugs, playlists, podcasts down in the description. Spotify, iTunes, Teespring if you're trying to rock that merch. Like I said, like way at the beginning. We've also got social medias. I was on Twitch for this one, most of this one. We had power outages and all kinds of weird stuff going on. Computer crash. God, it's just a mess. But I do stream what I can. We've also got a Twitter and a Discord and a Facebook if you want to come through and see me there. I'd also like to thank my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous channel members and Patreon patrons, as I do every episode, Jerry much. So thank you too. A Tiny Boy, Amelia Hannon, Sean Cantwell, John Endorse, Train Boy, That One Gay Cop, Valley-Eyed Crane, Sheeza, Angel Dark, Bedazzled Misery, Skylar Rain, The Fez Wearer, Rosie Rainbow, Heaven Sent, Robert Thibodeau, Jackie McQuitty, Grim Strive, AJ Colin, Tooth Plushy, Corey Arts, Kelly Clark, Florence Waver, Dungeon Bat, Billy D, Robert Waits, Brandon Ashcraft, Faith Danica, Wargaming Steve, Skylar Morningstar, The Gypsy Barber, Fire Drake, Samantha, Death's Flagship, and buy 2, get 1 hand. From Patreon, Glorious Maximus, oh, that's a new one, Holly Hohen, Robert Waits, Camille, Sarah, Vixie, Ellipses, Captain Cloud, Jerry, Deku, Esteban, Wargaming Steve, Beat Top, Back Mouse, Downtown, Jerry, Back for Forgiveness, he sure did, PCB, Santa Jerry, Silent Revolver, A Very Tired Jerry, Justy Jargonian Jerry, Aaron Jerry, and Frankenberry, Ain't That a Hot Bitch Though, Assassin Bug Jerry, Baby Jerry, Bailey Joy, Benji and the Jets, Billy D, Bitch Gremlin, Blade the Hero, Bronze Kraken, Chance the Blue Kraken, all those 2 different Krakens right there, Commander JT, Comrade Moody, Destiny Piper, Dr. Larks, Y'all, Aaron Arrow, Radic Mechanic, East Mars, Frozen Over Studios, Fire Drake, Gizmo Jack, Hadrian BR, Irish Pirate, Lust the Blue Marmalade of Mutiny, Iron Knowledge, A.M. Coon, Jerry Smith, Jerry Kisune, the original Jerry, Jerry Blacktail, Jerry Flips the Jerry, make my name longer so ReddX speeds up the page, list even more. It's gonna happen. Jerry the Outlaw of the Trugger, Hong Kong, Jerry, I'm begging you, please don't take my pen. Jukebox Jerry, Cage Alex 9, Kira, Crewheat, Cuddly Kraken, Lady Italian Greyhoundino, Lady in Awakening, Lauren Crow, Legit Victor, Lord Jerry, Leader of the Thunder Jerrys, Luke X was a race car driver, he was a good friend of mine, never did win that chicken flag, but I helped drink his wine, like and subscribe. Milady Dix, Melgar, the Destroyer, Metal Factor, I'm here because my cringe senses are tingling. Yeah, it worked out today, huh? Miss Black, Needles King 89, not another Jerry, but he is dope. Farrakhan Soul, Phantom of the Pines, Jerry and Jerry Beth, Queens, Quaaludes, and Quagmires, Ramtide, Lackermates, Redwin, Rose, Jerry Miller, Sarita, the Lolita, Scarlet's Coven, Sergeant K. Cop, Bringer of the Law, Silo Imp, 70 Gunner, Synaptic Boomstick, Brilliant Tomago, the Gypsy Barber, the Lilith Who, Archer Fusky, this isn't even my final beard, Tick Jerry, trying to find another ball to get back in the real world, Vanguard Angel, BC3, Viking Jerry, Vladimir Dragonov, Wiki Tag, Zephyr Gargoyle, or Clay, One Leg Jerry has returned from battle, a normal Jerry, all right, Red, for you, I bring Doritos, but I can't your expertise of their Beards, Admiral T-Tank, Amber Alder, another stupid hipster, Atomic Jerry, Zella, Breaker of the Tom Army, Bad Penny Lane, Bartender Kalia, Big Dad Wolf, Broke Spine, Horseradish, Cake Jerry, that's a different Jerry, Cowabunga Jerry Girl, Carcass, Chicago Panda, Corey does commissions now, Cowabunga Jerry, Cryptides, Defon Jerry, Defter Tuna, Dilf Jerry, Dwarf Dude, Fedorable Jerry, just tip the lady, ooh. I always do. Get to at the Doodles, commissions also open, Jerry Boo's daughter, Ghost of Alpha, Greymon 365, Half Slavic Jerry in a tracksuit, Eeknot, Hydra Jerry Solomon, Jace Christensen, Janitor Jerry's back from the abyss to clean up after the teenage beards. Good luck, Jeffrey, Geralt of Rivia, Jerry in the Cringe Machine, aka Roxanne Wolfsip Jerry, Jerry Boat 2 S's and E, that's Jesse, Jerry Springer, the results are in, you are not the neckbeard, Jerry the Sussy Baka, Jerry's mom has got it going on, check out the mustache on Jerry Aldo Rivera, Jerry Roxers, Jerry Roleplay again, Kim Marvelous, Kids again, Machia CD, maybe next time, Miss Duchess, Mr. Gasmas, not a Viper, not a Visible Angel, Raptor, Art, Selden Dark, Snary, that's Snom, Jerry, Spoonie the Rogue, Spoopy, Scary, Jerry Ton, Techno Dubs, they call me Jerry Two Knives, Jerry Pie, third stuff, this is purely a mercantile transaction. Yeah, that's pretty true. To Infinite Jerry and beyond. Tokyo Bird, Unkale, Vaughn, Venom Jerry, 2 Liter Mountain Dew, Grow by Neckbeard, Grow. It's Jerry time, holds ReddX Morpher. Hi G, it's Jerry time, holds ReddX Morpher. Humility, and thank you to my $1 patrons as well. Bless up to all the Jerrys and not Jerrys alike. My goodness, we're just doing the most out here for each other. If you can afford to support alongside these people, that is huge. If you can't do it, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you'll come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe like watch some more ReddX videos. How about it? Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it, especially you, OP, okay? And I will see you in the next one. Until then, friends, bye-bye.